All right, everybody. Our next session here on Note Camp, you are in for a treat. We are so excited to have America's most sought after real estate investor, somebody who's been responsible for over 2,000 plus transactions, who's in the midst of rehabbing a town in Iowa, Clinton, Iowa, as well out there, and just an absolutely amazing energy, and somebody who literally has gone from nothing. She's got an interesting story. I'm not going to take away from her, but is absolutely just leaving an impact all across the world. And just absolutely honored to have her join us here on No Camp. You heard her from her other half earlier yesterday, Mr. Bent-Twyford. We are honored to have the one, the only, the wonderful Miss Dwan Bent-Twyford join us.
Hey, thank you, Scott. I'm so excited to be on with you guys today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. And what's funny is on the links that I put out, the photos, the images, your image was the most clicked on.
It's the hair.
I think it's part of the hair, but it might not, but it's a great marketing tool. I love it.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it's not quite as pink as in that picture right there, but I did it in COVID, like, so long. And, us girls, we have to keep up with our roots. And I didn't realize how much actual gray hair I had. And I was like, holy cow, that can't be happening. So I just started to mess around with all these colors. And then I thought, you know what? Who doesn't love pink hair?
Exactly.
And then boom, there you go. And everyone clicks on my pictures because my hair is pink. So without intending, it is now my branding.
That's good. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's smart, and you can get away with it.
I can. Well, I figure, I tell my grandkids, because I'm 62 now. So I tell my grandkids that, like, secretly inside I'm incognito, I'm a unicorn, but I can't hide my hair. And so all their little friends, they come over and they're just like, oh, can we touch you? And they like touch me and they just look at my hair and they touch my hair. It's like some bizarre child magnet.
Good stuff. Well, now, besides being a good child magnet, you guys are also money magnets with a variety of the different things you do. And I'm really excited because one of the most sought after questions are people getting to real estate or note investing is about wholesaling or flipping paper, stuff like that. And I know that's what you're going to talk about with your section. So I'm going to jump off here while you pull up your presentation. We get rocking and rolling, get into the meat and potatoes.
All right. So let me see if I can pull this up in one swoop. Oh, yep. No, hang on a minute.
You got to hit share screen and then it should pop up and give you it there. Oh, look at you. See?
No, wait a minute.
You got to pick your PowerPoint. Now you got to maximize that.
I see it. I see it. Hold on. Hey,
there we go.
Now I can't see the chat box.
Don't worry about the chat. I'll handle the chat.
I know, but I want to ask people questions.
Okay. Well, you should be able to go do this. Just maximize that screen, and then if you want to pull over, yeah, I bet you look. Are you on two different computer screens?
No. Oh. Hang on a minute, everybody. Bear with me a second. No, I'm trying to pull your screen up big. Do you see my PowerPoint?
I see your PowerPoint and I see your desktop.
Oh, hang on. Everybody, hang on. Let me see. I want to be able to see the chat box because I have questions for everybody, but our little picture is like tinky tiny up in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Let me take mine down so you should be able to see just yours and then maybe my face.
No, hang on a minute, guys. Hang with me. I swear I have a great presentation for you. Oh, I can't see in the chat box, I think, is what the problem is. I can see the attendees.
Yeah, it's not about you seeing her. She can't see it. Dwan, once you run your presentation, as people comment, I'll jump in and say, hey, they're waving. Thomas said hi.
Right.
Okay.
Can you see it? Is it moving?
Yeah, it's moving. Just need to maximize because we can still see your backdrop.
I see it. Oh, rats. Okay. I wanted to have the participants up. All right. Well, you know what? I'm just going to have to trust that all of you are chatting with me in the chat box because I can't see it. Part of my thing is I like to talk to people and call them out and talk to them by name. And I'm not seeing it with my screen up there. So one last little look over here. Oh, there it is. Ah! Okay. I'm excited. Okay. Is my full screen? Everybody can see me?
You're good.
All right, everyone say hi to me. Everyone just say hi, type in the chat box. I like to say hi. Yay, David, Hakeem, Norman, Graham. Okay, I'm excited. I always like to say hi to everybody in the chat box and have a lot of questions I want to ask you. And without it, it kind of throws me off a little bit because I want you all to answer some questions for me as we go. Hello, Jonas from New York, Roberta from Virginia. Hey guys, I'm so excited. So I am in Florida today. This is our home in Florida. Right out that door is a big old lake and my paddle board, and the ocean is right there. So we are hanging in Florida this week. So I'm super excited that you all are on here today. I have a whole lot of stuff to cover. So just keep saying hi and telling me where you're from so I can just kind of get a feel for Dennys. Is that how you say it? That's a very cool name, from Chicago. Charlie, David, Norman, Vegas. All right. Ken from Houston. Oh, thank you guys so much for playing with me. Let me see. Hold on. There we go. Ha-ha, look at me. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way first. Okay. First of all, I need you to plan on 60 to 75 minutes of action-packed learning. And if you get kicked off, just come back on, hit refresh, and get back in here. Scott's got this thing up all over the place. It's YouTubing, it's everywhere, okay? And I have a free gift for all of you that stay all the way to the end. It's super great, so you don't want to miss that. And I want you to turn off any distractions, like get off your phones, close out all your tabs, your social media. Hopefully you're watching on a desktop or a laptop. And I just want you to take notes. I want you to set your mind for learning. I just want to show you how easy this really is. Okay, so everyone just be with me on that. And I don't want to distract you either. So I normally click my screen off right there in the corner. And there I am. So everybody say bye, Dwan. Bye, Dwan. I don't want to distract you with all my pink, cute hair. So everybody say bye to me. There you go. Bye for now. Trust me, I will be back. Y'all are not getting rid of me quite that easy. Bye. There you go. All right, let's roll then, you guys. We have a lot to cover today. All right, so the first thing, who is this training for? Is this a trick? David, it is not a trick. Who is this training for? Well, this training is for really anybody. It's for new people, people that want to be real estate investors in every area of investing. I mean, you're at Note Camp, you're learning all kinds of great things. And it's really for anyone that wants to be a real estate investor. Now, who is my training not for? Well, my training is not for get rich quick schemers, trolls, any of those things like that. So if you happen to be any of those people, you should not be on here because I have nothing to say to you. All right, are we ready to go? Everybody say, let's go. Type in the chat box, let's go. So I know you're all paying attention and you're seeing my screen. All right. Oh, you still see me. Okay, well, I don't see me. So I guess I will be a distraction. All right, let's go. Well, it's a good thing I'm not picking my nose or anything if y'all can still see me. All right, now I promise to you, I'm going to show you how to make massive amounts of monthly cash flow flipping houses. I really love flipping houses, and we are in such a crazy good market right now. Flipping is definitely something that you all want to be doing. So we're going to talk about flipping houses, and I have a lot to cover. I'm going to show you how to make $30,000 on every single one of the deals. So if you do $30,000 per flip or wholesale, and you just do one deal in a year, then you would make $360,000 in your first year. So in the chat box, give me like a thumbs up or a yay if you would be excited to make $360,000 in the next 12 months. Who would be excited about that? Everybody be excited about that? All right. And I'm going to show you the exact steps to make that happen. Now, why did I settle on $360,000 a year? Because the average student of mine makes $30,000 per flip, per wholesale. So I'm only asking y'all to consider doing one deal a month. So if you do one deal a month, 12 months, hence the $360,000. So it's not some magic number I just put out of the sky. That's how I came up with it. I'm going to also show you how to do this with no cash, no credit, and no real estate license. And we're going to bust the top 7 myths that keep a lot of you from flipping houses. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to help you get to your $360,000 a year. Now, so when Zoom, when all COVID started and Zoom, became like the thing, I came up with this thing for clapping on Zoom because, I can't hear you or see you guys. So if you do this, it looks like a V. So we're going to do V's for clapping or when you like something. So everybody give me some V's, like, hey, I want you to keep your promise to me, Dwan. I want to learn how to make $360,000 a year. I'm so excited. V's, hey. So see, when I see all the V's, then I take that as, yay, we love you, Dwan. All right, yay, there you go. Norman, Roberta. I love it. Sherry, Janelle, Crystal. All right, so when I go like this, y'all jump in and give me some B's. Okay, we got it? So let's talk about making money in the changing market. Now, the market, as we all know, is seriously changing. So you have to understand the changing market. You have to learn how to know your numbers. And by knowing your numbers, it's, how many leads, how many attempts, how many contacts, what does it actually take to close a deal and get a contract and get it closed? What is that number? Knowing your numbers is really, really crucial to your success. We're going to teach you today. I'm going to teach you about finding hidden deals that everybody misses. I'm going to show you some ways today, and you're going to be like, wow, I never thought of that. I almost can guarantee that you will hear at least one thing that I know you've never heard anybody say before. And I like to work with you and teach you about market indexing your areas, good areas, bad areas, up and coming areas, things like that, and how to negotiate with homeowners, negotiate with banks, increasing your language skills, classifying your areas, learning how to structure no equity deals. No equity would be notes. It would be subject tos. It would be wraparound mortgages. It would be rent to own, lease to own, all the super creative stuff. I love, love, love creative stuff. That's why I was so excited when Scott asked me to be a part of the note camp, because as he knows, in addition to just wholesaling 2,000 houses, we do so many, we've done 350, like 357 subject twos, this creative financing. So it's awesome. Also, I'm going to talk to you about having your exit strategies in place, getting consistent paychecks, and how to help you build a duplicatable and predictable business. So the key to any real estate investing of any kind is to be able to predict and duplicate. So if you need, say, $200,000 a year to live on, and that's how much you make right now, and every Friday you get a paycheck, that's what you need to pay your bills. You can't just jump into real estate and quit your job if you have no clue what you're doing, because how are you going to predict and duplicate, and how are you going to make a solid income for yourself so that you don't end up in foreclosure? So part of what I do is help you learn how to say, okay, I get this many people, I talk to this many people, I get this many contracts, this many deals closed, I make this much money per deal, I have to put in this many hours, and that's how I get to my number, whatever your number is. And once it's predictable and once you can duplicate it, then you can be a full-time real estate investor. So how many of you in the chat box want to be full-time real estate investors? Give me some B's. If you want to be a full-time, because I don't know if everyone's full-time investing right now. If you're part-time, so give me a feel, give me some V's for all the people. Okay, John's like, I want to be a full-time investor. Roberta, lots of V's. Woo! Ari and notes. I'm telling you, note buying is the best. Note buying is the best. Wholesaling is the best too. All right, just real quick, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Dwan Bent-Twyford. I'm America's most sought after real estate investor. And many years ago, I got fired from Denny's. Third shift, no less, third shift. I just remember walking out, looking back at that sign and thinking, who gets fired at 3:45 in the morning from Denny's? Like, really? How bad do you have to suck to get fired from Denny's? So not long after I was married, I had a baby. She was 8 months old. I went through a very unexpected divorce. And my husband took the car and the money, and it was at $75 in my purse. Like, no joke. I had $75 in my purse and a baby and no job. So needless to say, it was one of my, that's not like that come to Jesus moment where you have to decide, are you going to put on your big girl pants and you're going to try to figure it out and build a life? Or you're just going to go and hang my head and go back and get another job waiting tables. And nothing against anybody that waiting tables. I did it for a decade. I commend you. But I could not envision myself being the age I am now and still doing that. So I met some people, they were real estate investors, and they said, hey, we buy houses, we fix them up, and we sell them. Now you have to remember, this is over, my daughter is 32. This is a very long time ago. There was no internet, there were no RIA groups, there were no note camps online. There was nothing like this existed. So, and I had no experience, and I also had no friends that were in the real estate investing industry. So when I heard these people say to me, we buy houses and we fix them up and we sell them, my naive mind thought, oh, I'm going to decorate houses. I love to decorate. How hard could decorating be? I'm an excellent decorator. I'm going to buy houses and decorate them and sell them. So that's actually what I thought I was doing. As it turns out, rehabbing and decorating are not the same thing. Anybody know that? Yes, I get like an amen over here. Oh my God, it is not the same thing at all. Anyway, I went door knocking. I found this house. I moved in. I fixed it up. I did not know how to fix up a lot of things. So I had to take Home Depot classes. And I made $22,000 on my first deal. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I have $22,000. This is the most amount of money I had ever seen or had or knew of anyone to have. And I was like, that's it. I'm investing for the rest of my life. I am now a full-time real estate investor. So I rehabbed one house and literally I never looked back. And I started teaching back in 94. So I started investing in like 90, 91. I started teaching just a couple years in. And I really wasn't even qualified to teach, but I saw how many people were in foreclosure, actually right here in South Florida, so many people that were in foreclosure. And I thought, you know, if there were more people doing what I do, we could help more homeowners, because I went through a foreclosure. I had my car taken. I had my bank account. I lost all my stuff except for the baby, which of course makes me the big winner of the day. And so I knew how everybody felt. And I just started teaching people like, hey, you could just do this and this and this, and look at all the people that we could help. And then way back, and Scott might not even know this, I started doing short sales. Every time wholesaling would get tight, I'd call the bank and say, hey, I need to take some money off this deal. I can't close because of this and this and this. And way back in the 90s, it wasn't even really called short sales yet. They were calling it shorting, discounting, just all kinds of different words. So I actually trademarked and coined the term short sales as it applies to real estate investing way back. So I am the queen of short sales as well. And right now it is your turn. So give me some B's if it's your turn to be successful. I always figure if I can start from being fired from Denny's and having no money, no car, losing a house and a husband and all the stuff, and no money and no experience, y'all have no excuse. All right, Crystal, Sherry, Hakeem, give me some yay. It is your turn. That's why I'm here. It's your turn. This is my little girl. That's us all grown up, playing together. I wrote a book, Sale Pre-Foreclosure Investing, was #1 bestseller. I wrote a second book, How to Sell a House When It's Worth Less Than the Mortgage, bestseller. I wrote a third book called SuccessOnomics with Steve Forbes, also a bestseller. And I have a podcast called The Most Wonderful Real Estate Podcast Ever, of which Scott has been a guest. So if you're not checking out my podcast, it's wonderful. You need to be over listening and checking out my podcast. And with all of that, you all met Bill yesterday. Bill and I are rehabbing a town. Yes, a town. I'll tell you more as we go along. We set out to buy a building, but my husband can't do anything small. And now we have 20. I'm like, oh my God, stop buying buildings. All right. Everybody give me some yay, Dwan. I made it happen. I am actually one of, that's really hard to believe sometimes. I am that real life rags to riches, like so poor, came from Ohio, raised to grow up and get a factory job. Like that was my parents. Hey, get a job, work in a factory, get married, have kids, and work for the man and retire. And that's how I was raised. So thank God I got out of that. So why is this the summer of foreclosures? Well, people have to start making mortgage payments right now, like not in 6 months or 8 months or 9 months, right now. Unemployment, and most of it's going away. Jobs are in short supply, and I'm also going to show you 8 reasons why a crash is coming. So investors are filling a giant void in real estate right now. Investors like all of you and like Scott for putting on, oh yeah, Janelle's from Ohio. I'm born in Dayton, raised in West Milton. Let me know if you know where West Milton is. It's a dot. It's still a dot. It still only has a traffic light. Still a dot. I go back there, I'm like, how am I from here? Please. All right. So there's a giant void right now. That's why I'm so excited to be part of the note camp. This is such a great time for all of you to buy notes. It's a time for subject twos, creative financing. It's a time for wholesaling and flipping. This is a time if you have ever wanted to be a landlord, get properties and get them rented out. I'm going to show you really why here in just a minute. So this is like, honestly, never, ever even been a better time. And I've been through 32 years of market. So this is the craziest one yet. So I don't want you guys to wait like one more second to become an investor. So here's why we have a crash. Gas prices are high. Anybody bought gas lately? And you're like, holy cow, look how much it took to fill up my truck. And gas rates go high, the stock market gets nervous, interest rates go back up. It's like this big thing. Plywood a year ago was $18, now it's $90 or $100 for a sheet. So a deck that you could build last year for $400 is $1,500. How many of you have seen houses where the platform, the concrete's been poured, the slab, and the building has stopped? Anybody give me like a V? Well, it's not a great thing, but just give me a V so I know you're there listening. If you have seen any places where the construction has stopped. So the construction has to stop. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, Hakeem, Norman, John. It stops because the builder that was going to build this $200,000 house may now have to spend $250,000 to build the exact same house. But just because it costs you more to build it doesn't mean that the house is worth more money. The neighborhood is still a $200,000 neighborhood. And the fact that it costs more has put building to a screeching halt. So when you have less new builds, then the lending guidelines tighten up and the lenders are like, oh, I don't know. I mean, nobody's building. There's nothing new going on. And gas is high and wood is high and supplies are high. And the lending guidelines get tightened and it squeezes people. And then some of the people now that have like so-so credit actually cannot qualify for a house. And so it forces people to rent. And then when people are forced to rent goes up because the landlords are like, hey, I had 80 people show up at my house to rent and they're all willing to pay this much money. So the rent goes up. And when the rent goes up, the housing prices go down and you have a crash. That's kind of how it happens. And does everyone agree that that's where we're at right now? Yes, give me a V. This is exactly where we're at right now. So building is crazy. Prices are crazy. Building is not happening. Prices are crazy. Things are at a halt. People are going to have to rent. People can't, when they rent, everybody's renting, rent goes up, gas goes up, interest rates and lending goes down, down, down. And then, so that is how it happens. All right, now I want to talk to you today. So this is going to be stuff I know that you have not heard before, because every time I have a talk like this, people never hear this. So I specialize in what I like to do is I like to do wholesaling or flipping houses. So that means I get a house under contract. And when I get that house under contract, I add on a fee and then I sell the contract to like a rehab or a landlord or somebody else. And they take on the risk and they take on the money and they do something with that house. I am the middle person. And one of the things I've learned over the years is that most of us that have anything to do with wholesaling or buying anything from people that are in foreclosure, people that are in distress, I'm hoping at some point you start to recognize that homeowners go through different mindsets. And I know for me personally, my learning curve was very long. It took me 10 years being a real estate investor before I was ever able to make $1 million in one calendar year. Now, I have students that make $1 million in the first calendar year right out of the gate because you have mentors or you have mistakes. So which one is actually cheaper? Mentors or mistakes? Which one is cheaper? Yes, the mentors are cheaper. They will keep you from making mistakes. But one of the things I looked back on, especially when I was new-ish, I'm talking like a decade, is that I would spend too much time talking to homeowners. If someone called and said, hey, I'm interested, I got a postcard, I got this, I got that, I want to talk to you, I would just drop everything, like run over and talk to these people. And I wasted thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of hours talking to people that never had any intention of actually working with me. I was like, I went to the school of hard knocks. I'm telling you, it is expensive. That's why I wrote it all down and made programs. So I would just like drop everything and go talk to people. If I had anyone even remotely interested, because I thought every phone call that says, hey, I want to talk to you, I'm like, my God, I have a deal. And it's not like that. So once I learned a little bit more about the psychology of people, I started to recognize that one of the reasons I was wasting so much time on people is that they didn't really know how to sort of weed out the people that weren't ready to actually have a conversation with me just yet. How many of you have ever talked to a homeowner and at the end you thought like, oh man, this is great, I'm going to get this person under contract, and then nothing ever happens? So everybody give me a V. I'm not a happy V, but like, yeah, it's happened to me. Give me a V if you've ever wasted any time talking to somebody that was totally not ready to actually work with you. Yeah, Crystal. Yeah, Heike, all of us. So I'm going to help you stop that today. This is the mindset of a homeowner. Dwan, what does this have to do with wholesaling and flipping houses and making fortunes and making my $360,000 a year? This has everything to do with it, because when you learn the mindset of the homeowner and where the homeowner is at, you'll stop wasting time with people that are not ready to move forward. Norman's like, so too much time. I'm with you. All right, so here's a homeowner. They bought a house. They're like, woohoo, I bought a house. I'm having a housewarming party. I'm so excited. This is wonderful. I'm thrilled. Then something happens and now they're not being able to make their payments, and it could be anything. I mean, they could be going through a divorce. They could have lost a job. Could be COVID. I mean, anything. And now they're starting to be like, oh, I don't know, man, I'm falling behind. I'm like starting to have a little bit of anxiety. And then they start getting letters from the bank and you're in foreclosure, and all this stuff is happening. So they go through denial. They go through anxiety and then they go into denial. And I know some of you talked to homeowners that said, well, it's not me. You got the wrong person. I'm fine over here. And that's okay. This is a normal stage that everybody goes through. Then they go through anger. Oh, I can't believe the bank's taking my house. And every homeowner I think I've ever met, and I mean, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of them, almost always blame the bank. Oh, that bank, I can't believe the bank is taking my house. And they're mad and they're angry. Then they're going to go through depression, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, seriously, I'm really losing my house now. And then they're fearful. Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? What am I going to do with my kids? They're going to change schools. It's like, oh my God, who knows? And then they're panicky and then they're embarrassed. And then they're like, okay, I need somebody to come along and get me off underneath this deal. I don't know what to do. I'm ready to just be like, yep, I'm in foreclosure. Yep, I'm ready to move on. Yep, I'm just ready. And they're in acceptance. Now, how many of you have talked to a homeowner in the anxiety, denial, anger, depression, fear, panic, embarrassment, and tried to like talk them in and tell them all the reasons they should work with you, and spent more than an hour of all your time total talking to someone that was not ready to talk to you? Put a yes in the chat. See, right there. So until they're in acceptance, don't go meet, don't go talk, don't be crunching numbers, don't be doing all that stuff like that. Don't be doing all that. They're not ready. Stop wasting your time. And my job here is to teach you to make the more money than you've ever made in the least amount of time. Understanding the mindset will help you stop having conversations with people that are just curious and want to waste your time and ask you a bunch of questions, but they have no actual intention of moving forward with you. And then that's kind of where the homeowners sign contracts. Like, okay, I'm losing my house and, I don't know what to do. And you're going to buy it. You're going to wholesale it. You're going to landlord it. You're going to rent it. You're going to subject to it. You're going to rehab it, whatever you want to do with it. You're ready and they're ready. So that's when you should spend a minute with them. And then they're hopeful again. They're like, okay, because of Dwan and her amazing team and Scott Carson and all the awesome people, I can move ahead with my life again. And then they're relieved. And then they're like, woohoo, they're optimistic again. So they go through this little cycle. And if you know where people are in the cycle, you'll know to stop wasting time with them. And somewhere over in there is where the foreclosure actually happens. So that's kind of how the deal works. So these are the mindsets: denial, anger, depression, fear, panic, embarrassment, acceptance. So has anybody ever taught you this before on a wholesaling? When they're talking about wholesaling and flipping houses, has anyone ever taught you this before? Give me a yes or a no. No, Janelle, they have not. You know why people don't teach you this? Let me tell you why. Because every person, including me, we all want to do these amazing presentations. Ah, David, I'm awesome. Whoop, whoop, I am. It's not sexy. People want the sexy, the sleek, all the stuff. You automate everything. Everybody wants it, and they think, oh, this isn't sexy. But you know what? The sexy stuff is not necessarily the stuff that's going to make you any money. This is the real life, what it's like dealing with a person that's in distress. And when you don't know this stuff, I can promise you that you will waste thousands and thousands of hours. And someday you'll go, I remember Dwan talking to me at that note camp one day. And she said, stop talking to people unless they were in the acceptance. And I just talked to like 10 people and wasted 10 hours. I could have spent that time doing anything else. Okay. Yes. And Janelle, like, I understand that is the reality. And I tell everyone, like, listen, hey, I lost a house in foreclosure. I lost a husband and house. I lost all that stuff. Relate to people. Let them know that you're a real person. Here's your thing. Everybody type this down. If you have something in your life that's happened, that would be your mess. So your mess becomes your message. Your mess becomes your message. So at the time I was going through all of that stuff, never did I think that someday I would be telling people on purpose that I had a sudden divorce, a sudden foreclosure, sudden, lost my car, lost all my stuff. I never thought I would ever tell a soul, and I tell thousands of people now, because I just need you all to understand that, seriously, a broke single mom fired from Denny's can do this, so can you. And I want the homeowners to know, like, hey, listen, I get you. I was exactly in your shoes. I know how you feel. Let me help you get a fresh start in your life again. So everybody, can I get like some V's? This is good stuff, right? Yes, Dwan's going to save you so much time. I'm going to save you so much time. You will get your deals done. You should never have more than about 8 to 10 hours in any wholesale flip, anything, nothing. You should not have very much time in any of this stuff. If you're spending more time than that, it's because you don't have enough training to tighten that up. So don't waste your time talking to people that are not ready to talk to you. Just loop back, though. Follow up, loop back. Make sure you always follow up with everybody. All right. So I say what they don't want you to know. So they are all the people that are like, oh, my system, it's automated. You can print checks while you're sleeping. You'll never have to talk to a homeowner. You'll never have to submit a deal face to face. You'll never have to do anything. You can sit in your pajamas in your computer and make millions of dollars. And I'm just going to say that that's not actually how that works. Anyone agree with me? That's not exactly how that works. And if you don't want to ever talk to people, then strictly by notes, like from banks and from portfolios and from private lenders, or buy from the MLS, or buy things off of auction companies. There are all kinds of ways to find deals. Some of the houses that our buildings actually in our little town, we got directly from the bank. Some we got from building owners, some we got from corporations. Some of the houses I've done have been for the MLS, some have been directly with homeowners. They've been all over the place. But more often than not, I like to try to help people that are in a hard time out because I was that actual person. So let me just share some ways that I like to find deals. So bandit signs, you know, the big yellow signs. Oh, Janelle, thank you. I know, I feel it. So, you know, the big yellow signs. Okay, so everybody knows what a bandit sign is. The big yellow signs that I buy houses cash. So we use those all the time, but we do not put them on telephone poles and on street corners. I'm going to tell you on another slide where they go. That is your secret sauce. Obviously, we use internet, we use Craigslist, we use Facebook, we run ads because, I mean, I'm not stupid. Technology's out there. I want to use technology. But not every person in foreclosure is using technology. That's the thing that y'all don't understand. You're dealing with regular people that are not looking at your flashy ads. Hey, I want to buy your house cash. You're not, that's not where those people are. Here's where those people are. They're taking their kids to school every day. Put an ad in the school newsletter. The first year I ever did that, I spent $50 for a 1-year ad. I closed 10 deals. 10 deals for $50. Was that a good deal? Give me a V. Was that a good deal? Yes, it was. You don't have to have kids in school to advertise in school newsletters. Postcards. Yeah, see, there you go. Thank you, Roberta, Norman, John. Postcards. If you're gonna mail postcards, mail to zip codes. Mom and pop businesses, all kinds of little businesses will let you put flyers and cards and things in their stores. I own, like, I don't know, in Iowa, we opened 5 small businesses during the pandemic, and we have all kinds of business cards in our stores. Churches, all the churches, they have newsletters. Why don't you have newsletters in all the churches around your area? Pawn shops. This is such a good one. This one caught me so by surprise. I was sitting in my car here in South Florida one time. I was at a strip mall, and I actually don't remember what I was doing, but I was waiting for someone to come out of one of the offices, and I just remember seeing all these people coming and going and thought, what are those people doing? So, you know, I'm curious. I get out of my car, I go in, and it's a pawn shop. Now, this was my first time ever being inside of a pawn shop. And I looked around, and at first I thought, like, dang, there's a lot of junk in here. It was a little kind of neighborhood pawn shop. There was a lot of like lawnmowers and weed eaters. And I thought, oh, look at all this junk. But then they had a little section over there with like jewelry and like some nice things, you know. So I said to the guy, I said, hey, listen, I'm a real estate investor. Do people ever come in here that are in foreclosure losing their house? And he's like, yeah, people that come to me are at the point where they're selling things to go buy groceries. They're past trying to make a mortgage payment. They're past trying to pay a bill. They're coming in to buy food and groceries. Like, they're there. And I said, hey, what if I put one of these signs in the window, and whenever someone calls me and I put a deal together, I'll come in here and I'll pay you $1,000 for an advertising fee. And the guy just looks at me and he's like, girl, I deal with scummy people all day long. You expect me to put a sign in the window with your phone number, and I'm going to trust you to send me money when you buy a house from them? He's like, I don't think so, honey. Sweetie. I think he called me sweetie. I was like, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll cut the phone number off. We'll just stick the sign in the window. How about we just do that? And then you get their name and number. You give it to me. You can track when I close the deal. If I don't pay you, you'll know I'm a scumball and you can take my sign out of the window. So he's like, okay, deal. So I put a yellow bandit sign with the phone number cut off in the window. He gives me names and numbers of people. I close the first deal and I take him $2,500 since he's expecting $1,000. I take him $2,500. I say, hey, this is for that deal. I made a little bit more than I thought I was going to. It's an advertising fee, so we can all write this off. He was like, wow, okay, you got any more of those signs? And so I was like, sure. So now I have like 6 signs in his window. Well, now I'm closing deals on a fairly regular basis. So then he calls me one day. He's like, Dwan, listen, I do not have time to be talking to all these people and getting names and numbers and giving them to you. I trust you. Just will you come in here and put signs with your phone numbers on it? And by the way, 6 of my buddies own pawn shops and all of us want your signs. So just from that, I was averaging 25 to 30 deals a year from having signs in all the pawn shops. And they're still there to this day. All the pawn shops, and you cannot believe, you cannot believe all the things. And bail bondsmen. every courthouse in America, just about. The bail bondsmen are all around the courthouse. And, little Johnny gets arrested. He calls up auntie or grandma, and they put their house up. And then they don't show up. And then the bail bondsman's like, listen, I don't care whose auntie and granny this house is. I'm taking the house. I want my money. So bail bondsmen will give you deeds all day long if you give them money. And I have closed so many. I have bought, between Bill and I together, we have probably bought 100 houses from people in jail, sitting in jail. Because all you got to do is have the attorney go in and have them do a deed and get it notarized and bring it back out. And the family's on the outside and they usually need the money and they want to move. And I'm telling you, it's so much. And we all love those magnetic car signs, don't we? I have them on my car though. I remember the first time I put these, I had a red convertible and I got these red car signs that said, I buy houses cash. And I remember putting that on my car and thinking like, oh, those are so tacky. Oh my God, I hope nobody sees me. It was on an hour later. I was in the drive-thru at the bank. Someone calls. He says, hey, I'm in the drive-thru next to you. I just inherited 2 properties. I don't live down here. I'm down here for the funeral, for this and that. Are you interested in these 2 houses? So I made $23,000 off this sign that I said as I went out into the car, I hope nobody sees me. So when you made $22,000, the tacky factor gets lower. Then I wrapped everything. And the foreclosure list in your area. So here's what's public record: divorce, probate, foreclosure, bankruptcy, people that haven't paid real estate taxes, landlords that have completed evictions, all public record. One of the things I used to do way back in the beginning is I would buy second notes, second mortgages. I would buy the notes, especially if they were private notes. I'd buy the notes and, like a $25,000 note, I get it for $500. When you have the note, you are a lien holder, which gives you the right to control the first property. And so sometimes by buying the second from somebody private, you can go in and take over the first, and you can take over properties that way. Now, I want everyone that's listening to me to type in the chat box one thing on this page that you have not heard before. And all of these things we do all the time. So pawn shop, bail bondsman, so creative, pawn shop. There's so many things y'all can be doing. Yes, you can run ads. Yes, you should be on Craigslist. Yes, you should be on Facebook. You should be doing all of that. But all these little things are what I call the background things that are always there. Another really great place. Do any of you have any kids or grandkids or nieces, nephews that are in sports? When you're sitting there, look around the field. On that fence, there are banners hanging everywhere. Our banner at our school costs us $350, and it hangs there all the time for years now. We average 5 or 6 deals a year just hanging off of a banner. So you need to be everywhere. And also, don't put I buy houses cash on anything but your bandit signs. Everything else should be like facing foreclosure, ? Like on a postcard or in an ad. Unwanted, unexpected divorce, ? Job transfer, ? Death in the family, ? We have problems for your property. We have solutions for your property problems. Solutions for your property problems. Okay, people want solutions. Not I buy houses cash. I only do that on signs because I don't have space. Okay. So here's the big issue I have is the people that are out there say, oh, this is automated, never talk to a person, never, this is the way, don't do that. But you know what, guys, we're in a people business. We need to bring the human factor back. We need to keep the human factor. If someone calls me from a Facebook ad, I call them. If someone calls me on Craigslist, I call them. I check out all the public records. I have postcards and different things. And when they call, I talk to the people. Bandit signs. Where do you put a bandit sign? You know where you put a bandit sign? In the yards of vacant properties. In the yards of vacant properties. So you're driving through the neighborhood, you see 5 vacant houses, you put 5 signs in the yards, and the signs will stay in the yards until the bank processes that property and gets it listed and gets it on the market. I've had signs that have sat in yards for 2 years. Because once a house becomes vacant and it's being taken care of by this company over here that winterizes it and does all the property maintenance on it, The average house sits there for over 2 years if it was a foreclosure, because the banks don't have the time and the people and the manpower to get it and get it listed up onto the market. So we put signs in yards. Can't get in trouble. It's not trespassing. It's just a house that's sitting there vacant. Nobody knows about it. So you can streamline everything you want to do. You can streamline everything. I am a big streamlined person, but still talk to people. It is honestly the key to your success. It is the key to your success. Even if you're talking to a bank and you want to buy some notes, you have to still have a conversation with the person that you're buying the note package from. You're trying to buy a portfolio, you got to have a conversation. The better rapport you have with that person, the better chance you are that they're going to give you more portfolios. So y'all have to stop being afraid to talk to people. Put the human factor back in life. I'm telling you. Do you think homeowners just woke up one day and said, hey, it's a new world out there. You know, we're in foreclosure and we want to automate our foreclosure. We don't want anyone to call us. We don't want to talk to anybody. We just want to automate the whole thing. We want someone to buy our house and meet us at the closing table and give us a check. Do you think that homeowners just decided one day that that's what they were going to do? Or does it ever occur to y'all that when they're in a distressful situation, the thing they need more than anything is a person to talk to them and let them know it's going to be okay? Now, these are signs that we use. These are the 3 signs that we use. Houses for rent, rent to own. We do subject twos with those. I buy houses cash. We do whatever. We wholesale, we rehab, we're landlord, we do subject twos. But we create notes. We create notes, creative financing. And then, of course, if someone needs a short sale. Now, this is just an example of the last time we put signs out. Let me just show you what happened. This is a 2-week average. So we put 18 signs out. It took us an hour and a half. So we went all around, found all these vacant houses. We put 18 signs out. 31 calls so far. 4 people say, I have cash, I have $200,000 in cash. I'm ready to buy something. Just give me anything and I'll buy it. 1 rehabber has a crew ready to go. We're working on 2 short sales. We have 6 people that says, hey, I'll rent to own. I have $20,000 down. To me, that screams subject to wraparound mortgage, owner financing. Why would you not do that? Okay, we have 15 signs left. So 3 of them grew legs and walked off. I'm assuming the kids. So an area that we never worked, 20 square blocks. We have $260,000 coming in from putting out 18 signs. Now that's just been the 2-week average. So would you be happy with that? Give me some B's if you would be happy with that. I need more than 1 B from just Norman. Give me some B's. Yay, there you go. There's a million things that y'all have. Even Scott gave me a B. If we can't flip it, we subject to it, we create a note. Man, we're all about that. It's so exciting. So we spent basically $27 and we got 260 bucks, 260,000 coming in. So good return on the money. Okay, so let's just break the myth here. So you can make money in less than 30 days for sure. You do not need any cash to wholesale properties. I give the homeowners a $10 deposit. Well, Dwan, who would take $10? Every single solitary person that's in foreclosure that needs out of their situation. In 2,000 deals, no one has ever said no. No cash, no credit. Do not need, I still don't to this day, do not have a real estate license. You don't need experience. You do not need any formal education. That's it. So I don't want to hear, I don't have any money, you don't have a license, I don't have that. I didn't have any of that stuff. And look at me today. So, and I still don't have the license and all the stuff like that. So, or the formal education. I just have 30 years of learning by the seat of my pants and figuring it out and not making mistakes anymore. So that's it. Okay. Now this is kind of how it works. Wholesaling or flipping. This is the concept. You find a distressed seller, and that's how they feel. They're just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm losing my house. I don't know. I wish somebody would, hey, I'm in the pawn shop. Get that sign. I want to call that person right there. They're looking for someone to help them out. This is you. You're like, woohoo, I took Dwan's webinar and I'm involved. I'm wholesaling. I'm flipping. I'm just like so excited. Okay, trust me, the homeowner is not where you are right now. And this is your rehabber. You're like, hey, I got the program. I got a house. I'm going to help a person. I'm going to give them money to move. They're going to get a fresh start. They're not going to get a foreclosure on the credit report. I got a rehabber and landlords just lined up over here that want houses from me. Okay, I give them $10 to secure the contract. I sign a contract. Well, just watch right here. I find my distressed person. I build a buyer's list, which is, you can do it from your local RIA group. I get a contract with the seller, the homeowner in distress. I sign a contract. I sign a contract with my rehabber or my landlord. I give the homeowners a $10 deposit as a down payment on the contract. Then, and this may be a little complicated, but I put the house into an LLC, and then I sell the LLC to a landlord or a rehabber, and that's how I get around any kind of assignment fees or double closings or anything like that. So I sell the LLC to a landlord or rehabber, and I make the money in between. So I am the middle person. Okay, so can you wholesale in today's market? Well, you need a little bit of equity to wholesale. So if there's no equity, you could do a short sale and still flip it, or you could make it a subject to, which is probably what we would do. So you're going to structure a creative finance deal if they owe exactly what it's worth, or you're going to do a short sale, which means you're going to talk to the bank and you're going to buy it for less than what's owed. That's another entire class, but I'm the queen of short sales, so I can teach you about that too. And can you wholesale houses that are bank owned? Yeah, you can get it under contract, probably in your company name, and then an LLC, and then you can sell it to somebody else. Okay, it can all be done. So look at like Jane and Jim. They made $26,000 on their first wholesale, 13 on the next. Would you be happy with that? Give me a V if you like any of these numbers you're seeing right here. Okay, Paul and Mary, they made $37,000 on their very first deal and paid off all their credit cards. It was really weird that they made 37 and they had 37 in credit card debt. So they made the exact amount they needed, and boom, they're out of debt in one shot, which is pretty amazing. This is John. John used to be the manager at a grocery store called the Piggly Wiggly. And now he owns like 60 rentals, free and clear. He has so much money coming, he doesn't even know what to do with his money right now. This is Michael, another guy, was first deal. He found a house that was worth 600. They owed 600. So call the bank up, see if they'll take a discount. They did a short sale. The bank said, we'll take 300,000. But you have to close by the last day of the month. Close on the last day of the month. He wholesaled it. I said, wholesale this deal because he had no money. He did not have any credit. He was coming out of a bad situation on his own. He wholesaled and made $137,000 on his first deal. Who would be excited about that? Yes? Can I get some like, yay? And Michael's still investing today. Now, and I told him, I said, listen, I don't want to burst your bubble here, but don't expect that on every single deal, because not every deal is a $100,000 deal. But I feel like that's a pretty good way to start, right? Are we all like, yeah, we'd be excited about that? Yes. Hey, Graham. Yes. Kay. Yes, yes, yes. Who would not be excited about that? So here's one of the number one problems in our industry. When I always say they, I'm just talking about the people that are like, oh, just use this, print checks while you're sleeping. I can't stand that because it's not true. So the human factor is what's missing in life in general right now. So how do you personally feel? You're trying to make a call, you're trying to do something, and you get stuck in like automation hell. How does that make you feel? Tell me in the chat. Good, bad, how do you feel? So if you don't like it, why do you consider that mad? Exactly. How many of you have screamed at your phone? You're on there, it's like, just one more minute, and you're like, ah! Anyone ever screamed at their phone? To the automated guy? But it's like, was that a yes or a no? And you're like, yes, yes, yes. And it's still not going through. And then you're like, ah. And then there's someone comes on and goes, hello, can I help you? And you get disconnected. My God, I lose my mind when that happens to me. So why is it acceptable for your clients? Why would you do that to other people that are in distress? Okay. Do you think homeowners just woke up one day and said, hey, I'm losing my house, but I hear about all these great programs where no one ever has to talk to me and they can just get my house and do it under contract and I can just get a check. I never have to talk to a soul. No, come on now. You all hate that for yourselves. So you're not going to be super successful in real estate investing if you don't bring back the human factor. Even if you're a note guy, you have to sell those notes to somebody. You got to create notes. You're working with homeowners and saying, hey, I bought your note. I can restructure your payment for you. I'll create a new note. What can you afford a month? 500. I'll give you a new note, new thing. Pay me $500 a month. You still have to talk to that person. Like, please, for the love of God, talk to people. Okay. People don't like not being talked to. Does everybody agree with that? Say yes. Yes. Oh, this is breakthrough stuff you're sharing with us. You know what? I'm telling you the stuff that's the real deal stuff. It may not sound super sexy, putting signs in a pawn shop and talking to people, but I'm telling you, you want to be really successful, do what I do. Just do what I do, okay? I promise you, you'll be happy and you'll be successful, and just treat people like humans. We hate when that happens. How many of you get all day? I have potential spam just all day on my phone. I'm like, if you answer it, there's nobody there. So I stop. Okay. People did not just wake up one day and go, oh, I'm in foreclosure. I hope someone automates me. They don't do that. It doesn't work that way. Even like I said, like I know Scott's big on buying notes and then calling the homeowners and, hey, how much can you afford? And they structure those payments out. Somebody does that on the phone. Make people feel important. You know why? Because they are important. People, we're all important. All right, now look at Cesario. So cute. He wholesaled his first deal, 8,000, 10,000, 10,000. I was like, Cesario, make more money. You're in the DC area. Come on, man. 52 grand. I was like, woohoo, there's my man right there. All right. Gary, $2.8 million last year. Who'd be excited about that? 2.8. Gary's biggest problem, he's like, I can't crack 3 million. I'm like, you're so picked on. So Joel, now Joel's a great guy. Young. He was able to, that's his first check. It's $78,792. That's I don't know, a year or two ago. That was his first deal. He has a degree as an engineer. I meet him at a workshop. He's thousands of dollars in debt. And he's like, you know what, Dwan, I really don't like being an engineer. I'm so burned out. I was like, you're 31. You don't get to be burned out yet. You have to be older to be burned out. So I go, oh, I thought it would be more fun than he didn't like it. So he was on one of my webinars and he invested in himself. He invested in me. And that was his first deal. And he was able to quit his check and become a full-time investor just like that. One deal. I was able to quit and become full-time. He's never regretted his decision. This is Erwin. He made 20,000 on that little cute house right there. Just flipped it like boom in one day, made 20 grand, 20 on a second. Would anybody be happy with these numbers? Look at Alicia. She is my little darling. I wish I had a better picture of her. She is in Indiana or somewhere, and she lives on a farm, and she goes to the stock shows and she sells cows. So she wanted to buy a bunch of cows, and her and her mom came to one of my workshops, and they got involved in the exact program I'm going to offer you guys today. And she made $7,500. Her mom, of course, signed all the documents. She went and bought cows, took them to the fair, and she wholesaled and flipped the cows for double her money. Is that awesome? It's like, oh my God, you're so cute. So anybody can do this.
That's a moving deal there. Moving deal.
Is that the best deal? Oh my God. I was like,
funny.
You did what? She's like, I flipped the cows. I made 15 grand. I'm like, what do you mean you flipped cows? Took them to the stock show. I bought them, took care of them, took them to the stock show. I flipped them. I doubled my money. I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. You guys may remember this guy. His name is Pete Thomas. He was on that show, The Biggest Loser, in Michigan. Look at him before and after. He still looks amazing. He writes cookbooks now. He's on all kinds of shows, and he got involved with me and says, hey, I want to be on the show, but I'm not going to be able to work for a year. I have to take a year off. And so I taught his wife. I said, well, let me just teach your wife how to wholesale, and then you can go do the show for the year, and your wife can flip houses, and you can take care of yourself. So their very first deal, they got it in 10 in the morning and sold it in 2 in the afternoon, made $20,000 on one deal. And he lost 185 pounds. So your health is important too. All right, so here's how the deal closes. You have a sales contract between the homeowner and you. So that $10 deposit is consideration, down payment, whatever you call it in your area. It's a contract to buy it. I'm going to put it into an LLC. Well, Dwan, LLCs cost a ton of money. No, they don't. Go onto your state. You can get what's called a skeleton LLC. Everybody type that in, skeleton LLC. A skeleton LLC gives you this. You get about 8 pieces of paper. You get a tax ID number, you get an LLC name, you get some articles, and you just get it and you print it out. You don't need the book and the stocks and the stamp and all that fancy schmancy stuff. You're going to put this one house into that one little LLC, call it, the Twyford Family LLC. And you're going to deed the house into that one thing, and you're going to sell that to somebody else and be done with it. That's it. It's that simple. So the LLC owns one asset, which is the house. That's it. So the buyer buys your LLC, and then if the buyer fixes it up, and then they want to sell it, and they want to go for an FHA loan, they do go back into a title search. It's all good. It's approved by FHA. Talking too fast. Rehab brings the money. They use transactional funding. I'm sure someone on here has talked to you about transactional funding, and you make an assignment fee or a fee. You make a fee for selling your LLC. Like, that's it. You never own the property. Who likes the fact that we never own the property? We never own the property. And your title companies, your attorneys, your escrow companies, they will help you organize this so the paperwork is correct for your state. It is different in some states. Some states you can use an assignment of contract. Some you can do a double closing. Some you can use a land trust. Some you can do an LLC. I can't cover all the states and all the things in this short amount of time. Whatever state you're in, I promise you there's a way to close the deal that's approved by FHA. So that's it. Homeowner between the contract and you assign, sell, LLC, land trust to a rehabber, a landlord, or whoever. Maybe you create a subject to and do a creative. That's another topic. My husband covered that yesterday, but we have all the paperwork for that as well. Buyer attends the closing. Your person buys a contract from you. You make the money in the middle. We are the middleman. Okay? And then the fee is an assignment fee, whatever you want to call it, transaction fee, or whatever you think you want to call it, transactional engineer fee, whatever makes you happy, that's what it is. Now let's look at this. Follow my mouse here for a minute. Let's go to the top where it says goals and scheduling. This is what you need. You need to have all this printed out, hanging on your wall so you can look at it and go, okay, here's what I need to do. I got to set my goals. I need to know my numbers. That's the first thing Dwan said an hour ago. Where are you going to work? You're going to classify your areas. Are you going to work over the phone? Are you going to door knock? Are you going to pre-qualify? Are you going to get over your fears of being whatever your fears are? Are you going to prospect? Late leads, divorces, distress, probate, bankruptcy, foreclosure, social media, marketing, inbound, people calling. You're going to track, learn your numbers, learn how efficient. Are you a high, medium, or low efficient person? I want to help you be high efficient. That means least amount of stuff, most amount of money, because you know how to talk to people, you know their mindset, you know the right things to say, you know when to loop back, you don't waste time on stuff that's not worth your time. Okay, then up here, now we have distressed homeowners, rehabbers, landlords, end users. These are leads. They have leads. So now we have leads in our bucket. With all these leads in our bucket, what are we going to do with our leads, Dwan? Well, are you going to sell them? Who are your buyers over here? You have landlords. Do they have money? Do you know what area they want to buy in? Do you know what level of repair they can do? Do you have rehabbers? Do you want to sell to rehabbers? Do you want to find an end user? Do you want to pre-qualify it? Do you want to subject to it? Do you want to do a wraparound mortgage? These are your distressed homeowners. Where are they emotionally? Are they ready for you? If they're not into acceptance, not ready. Next thing is we're going to think of, okay, we got a homeowner, I got a lead, they're signed, they're ready, they're in acceptance. I'm going to use my exit strategy. My exit strategy, wholesaling. You're just going to flip it and be done with it. Just flip it and forget it. Boom, flipped, done, 30,000 in your pocket. Okay, 30,000 in your pocket. You're going to learn how to talk to homeowners. You're going to learn how to structure the no equity, the creative financing, the wraparound mortgages. We're going to learn all these things. This is all like so much fun. It's such a fun part of real estate investing. Are you going to do a short sale? Maybe you need to do a short sale and get the bank to take less so you can flip it and wholesale to somebody else because the numbers are too tight. So you're just going to get all these things together. Your rehab, your contracts, your realtor, your team players. You put it on, you're like, oh, Dwan seems like a lot. It's super easy. This is like a couple of steps, honestly. And then we're going to wholesale that baby. So these are my exit strategies. Am I going to wholesale it? Yes. I going to short sale it? I could. Am I going to rehab it? I could. Am I going to subject to it? Yes, I could. Seller financing, title companies. Are you going to buy it in a trust? Is it going to go into your rental portfolio? Are you going to wholesale to a landlord? Are you going to wholesale to a rehabber? The easiest thing for you to do, especially if you're a new investor, to get a house under contract, flip it and wholesale to somebody else, get that $30,000 check, put it in the bank. Do it again, put $30,000 more in the bank. Do it again, put $30,000 more into the bank and collect money so that you have options to do other things. So wholesaling might not even be your first love, but it is the absolute easiest thing that you can do to put cash in the bank. So give me some B's if everybody likes cash in the bank. Do we like cash in the bank? Yes, we like cash in the bank. And all of this is covered, look at my mouse, the bottom of the screen, is covered in my 6-week immersive boot camp. I put together a 6-week boot camp. It's new actually, and it goes through all the things, all the options, everything that you can do. If you want to wholesale it, short it, subject to it, rehab it, landlord it, it's all covered. Now, investing your money, like, ooh, I made money on my deal. What am I going to do? Well, you can become a hard money lender down the road. You can buy notes. You can learn how to create them. You can learn all that. Scott's the guy to show you everything about note camping, long-term rentals. You're going to get management companies. You're going to buy commercial. Are you going to buy multi-units? You're going to buy storage units. We have everything on that page. You know why? Because we diverse our investing. And we have a town. We have a town. I can't even tell you. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe we have literally a town. And of course, you're going to invest in Wonderful and me, because that is going to get you financial freedom. And that's what we're all here for today. So here's what you need to be able to do this. The first thing that you need is my program called 30,000 in 30 days. It's cash in a flash wholesale training. The left is part 1, building your business. On the right is part 2, building your fortune. This is super detailed, hundreds of pages. It's all downloadable. You read it on your phone, your computer, wherever you want to do it. And it's got everything that you need, every script, every contract, every sentence you need to say, how to do your everything I know about wholesaling, every single thing is in that program. The next thing you're going to need is how to find foreclosures. How do you find them? Well, I just showed you like a million ways today, and I asked all of you to tell me something new, and a ton of people put pawn shops and bail bondsmen. So there's 50 other ways of how to find deals in there, and yes, online as well. I'm all about streamlining. I just want you to streamline yourself into oblivion, because you'll regret it down the road. Okay, I also want to give you some free bonuses. So everyone that gets involved with me today is going to get the land trust. Now, I paid $5,000 to have this land trust made, and I don't hardly do any deals without using my land trust. I prefer to use my land trust over an LLC in the cases where I can. So I'm giving that to everyone that works with me today, and a fast start DVD, which is basically me sitting and talking to you for an hour and saying, okay, here's how it starts, done. This is how it goes in real life time. This is exactly what's going to take to close that deal. Real life time. So in your head, you have like a big picture of what is actually going to happen. And how to make 30,000 in 30 days. So this is how it breaks down. The program that you just saw, 30,000 in 30 days, wholesaling or flipping deals, is broken down into week 1, getting started. Week 2, finding your team players, because you need a few people to work with you. Week 3, prepping for the closing. Week 4, collecting your check. Every person on here is going to close a deal in under 30 days. So if you want to close a deal in under 30 days, give me some B's. Yes, Dwan, I want to close a deal in under 30 days. I need some B's. Yes, yes, yes. Of course you do. Even if you make 10 grand, would you be excited? Yes. If you make 15, if you make 30, what if you make 50? I mean, the possibilities are limitless. Okay, foreclosure fortunes, that comes with this, how to make 30,000 in 30 days. That's the deal funding program. Your bonuses are the video and the land trust. And this is what everything looks like. It's like, woo, and you get the best part of the whole deal is you actually get me. So hang on while I tell you how you're going to work with me directly. Okay. So here's how we're going to tie it together. I did this 6-week boot camp, like I said. It's so, honestly, I'm so proud of it. It is so good. And it covers what's happening right now today. So it is not on CDs. I just put those there so you could like see them. It's online. You're going to listen to it on your phone. So you're going to listen for 6 weeks. The first week I teach for an hour and a half. And this is all in chronological order of a real deal. I give you some homework, some assignments, you go do them, you come back in the second week, I teach, I give homework, I give assignments, third week, fourth week, and we keep doing that all the way through for 6 weeks. In the fourth week, you are going to close a deal, and the fifth and sixth weeks are for you to tie it together and make it predictable and duplicatable and move ahead and be able to become a full-time real estate investor. And then after you've flipped a few houses, you may be like, hey, you know what? I want to buy notes. Do that. I want to do some subject twos. Do that. I want to be a rehabber. Do that. I want to buy a commercial. I want to buy a town, Dwan. Do that. But you got to start somewhere. And a lot of you are new. So start off wholesaling. It's really easy. You're not going to lose your butt on any, the worst case, you lose $10. We can all do that. All right, so here's how it is. So the 6-week immersion boot camp is $29.97. The 30 days flipping contracts, the program is $19.97. The deal finding program is $9.97. The 1-hour quick start DVD is $2.97. And my personal land trust, when someone wants to buy it from me, I make them pay me $2,500 for it because I help them use it. So this is what everything is that you're all are going to get today. So it's the 6-week boot camp, which is detail. So good. The program, 30,000 in 30 days, when cash on flash wholesale training, foreclosure fortunes in your own backyard, all the ways to find your deals, the DVD, and the land trust. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's awesome. And you can get it all like today. Everyone can get it today. So if you did all of this and just one by one, you would spend almost $9,000 getting all that. But you know that I cannot do that. I mean, Scott got you on the call. You guys have played so well right in my box for the whole time I've been talking. And the more participation I get, the more generous that I feel. So I have decided to give you guys 85% off. 85% off, and you just have to go to 123foreclosures.com/join. That's $9.97. If you have any problems on that page for any reason, you can call 303-907-5930. So 123foreclosures, FORECLOSURES.com/join. $9.97. That is the Scott Carson Note Camp deal. And Scott had to beat me up about that too. I was like, come on, man. Now, I saw this on the internet and I had to make a post about this. This is how the average person thinks. They're like, oh, I can't spend $1,000 to start a business. That's too much money. But you'll go buy a phone for $1,000. It's no problem. You could buy healthier groceries. Oh my gosh, it's $100 for the extra healthy organic groceries. I can't do that, but you'll go eat garbage and drink and spend $100. No problem. I do not have time to learn a new skill. I can't have 2 hours. I'm watching Netflix, but then the show was good, so I decided to binge it. So I just put 8 hours into Netflix. Who can relate to me? Life is about choices. Stop blaming the lack of opportunity. Y'all have opportunity all the time. Every person on here would go get a brand new phone. If the iPhone 200 came out tomorrow, you'd go stand in line overnight to get one, but you don't want to spend $1,000 to invest in a business that can allow you to buy all the iPhones you want in the whole world. Okay? Make better choices. Now, I also get, like when I was brand new, $1,000 would have been a completely impossible thing for me. I get it. So you can go to 123foreclosures.com/join, $9.97, or you can make 2 payments of $5.99. Okay, 2 payments of $5.99. If you have any trouble, just text 303-907-5930. Now, how many of you Give me a V if you feel like if you worked with me, you would make more money than you're making today. Put some V's. If you feel like you would make more money than you're making today. Okay, Norman, Nuri, Hakeem. I need more B's, Roberta. I need B's from all the people. Amos, Graham, all of you. So here is your big giant bonus. I am looking for a dirty dozen. That means I'm going to work with 12 people. So the first 12 people, you're going to be my dirty dozen, and I'm actually going to work with you until you close your first deal. Yes, you heard me. Now, am I going to give you full-on lifetime mentoring? No. It's $9.97. Am I going to help you close your first deal? Am I going to look over your paperwork? Am I going to make sure you're not doing anything wrong? Yes, I am. I am going to work with you till you close your first deal, but only for 12 people. So you have to be part of my dirty dozen, and you will get access to me directly right on my phone, and I will work with you until you close your first deal. Who would like me to work with you? Give me a V if you'd like me to work with you until you close your first deal. Let me see some V's. That's right. And you know what? I'm not going to let anybody down. So actually, my phone is buzzing here. So at my site, I already see Doreen from New Hampshire. Woo, girl. I already got Doreen, and we have Roberta from DC. We have Kevin from New York. All right, guys, I need you to jump over there, 123foreclosures.com/join 997 at 303-907-5930, or 2 payments of $5.99. And just one last time, these are just a bunch of student checks. I got a cajillion of these: 151,000, 12,000, 78,000, 94,000. I can't see that one. 18,000. I mean, I just have so many. There's so many. This is what everything looks like. That is your great, awesome Scott Carson Note Camp deal. 123foreclosures.com/join 997, 2 payments of $5.99. Now, the most frequently asked questions that I get. So I'm going to go through some questions. Some of you wrote these questions. And Scott, if you have some questions, you can certainly give them to me at this point. The number one question that everyone asks always is, can I honestly do this with no money down? So when you meet that homeowner and you're signing that sales contract, you only have to give them a $10 deposit, and that secures the deal. That locks the deal in. So that's it. And then you're going to sell to somebody else and make that middle money. And some of you might, I don't really want to wholesale. That's not my real true interest in investing, but I'm so broke. Wholesale some deals, get some money in the bank, save your checks, and then do whatever you want to do in the business. How do I find homeowners? I can't believe any of you would ask me how you could find homeowners. I had 3 slides on that. I'm not even going to cover it. If you didn't pay attention, shame on you. All right. Is it legal in every state? Of course. You can wholesale in every single state in the country. I mean, the world is built on wholesaling. You buy it for less, you sell it for more. That's called wholesaling. You go buy these clothes, they pay less, you pay more. It's called wholesaling. It's a store. We just wholesale a bigger ticket item. We wholesale houses. That's it. We just have a bigger thing that we're wholesaling. Can I wholesale any type of property? Yes. You can wholesale commercial properties. You can wholesale storage units. You can wholesale vacant land. You can wholesale houses. You can wholesale anything. I'm sorry?
You can wholesale cows.
You can wholesale I know. You can wholesale cows. If you can wholesale cows, you can do anything. How do I put my picture back up on the big screen?
You would just stop sharing your slides, would bring your up.
That's right. And
I put the link in the link is in the chat roll for everybody there. I also put it online on YouTube, on the chat roll in the YouTube video as well too.
So there I am. No. I'm down to the end. It's like, how do I get my face back up there?
Just stop sharing. Go down to your bottom where it says share where you shared screen and hit stop sharing.
I don't see a choice to stop share.
Hang on, I think maybe I can do it on my side. Hang on here.
Can you stop sharing my screen for me?
Stop video. No, that's me. Hang on here.
Now I don't see my face anywhere. I see me nowhere now. It's like, where'd I go? I'm gone. I don't want to do that. I'll start my video. Let me see. Hey, there I am. Okay, can you guys just see my video?
There we go. There we go.
There I am. And all my pink hair. All right, did you guys have fun with me today? Yes.
Yes, they did.
There you are,
Yes,
honey.
Yay. Question.
Somebody
asked me a question. Can you please explain the difference between subject to deals and assignment of mortgage?
Well, a subject to, I would meet a homeowner, for example, and they would say, hey, they want to work with me, they're in trouble, they want to get rid of their house, but they literally have zero equity. They have just like no equity whatsoever. But they're like, hey, Dwan, I'll just deed you my house. Give me $1,000 so I can move. Here's the deed. Here's my house. I'm leaving town. So I would take a house like that. If it's in really good, clean condition, I would offer it out as an owner financing to somebody else. Usually from my bandit signs, I have signs that say owner financing. So at any given day, Scott, we have 30 people that have called from the sign. They're like, hey, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. We just keep them on a list and we try to find them houses. So I create a new first mortgage with this person. They give me, say, $20,000 down, and I create a mortgage with them. So they pay me, I pay the bank. I keep the money that I got down, and then I make whatever the difference is every month. We call it deferred profit. Maybe I make $300 a month. And at the end, when they refinance out, I make $10,000, $15,000 there. The average deal that we do on the subject to, we average $50,000 total. We get about 20,000 over the 5 or 6 years in the payments. We get 20 down. I may have to take 10 of the 20 and make up the back payments. Then we cash out like 10 at the end. So we call that front load, deferred, and back load profit. Those are our 3 profit strategies. So I love the 3 profit strategies on the subject to.
Right.
It's one of our top things that we do.
And then can you explain the assignment of mortgage, the difference between the two?
Where I assign my mortgage?
Now the question was, can you describe the difference between subject to deal and assignment of mortgage?
Like where the bank assigns a mortgage to me? Is that what they're asking me?
Yeah, I believe so. It wasn't clear. So here's the thing. Somebody asked a question. Tony, what about banks that enforce non-assumption clauses? Tony, that doesn't happen hardly often. All the bank cares about is getting paid. So
they don't care. And you know how to prove that? And Bill might have said this yesterday. You can start making your mortgage payments and make a cashier's check. And down in there, who it's from, put Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Daisy May, and send them in. The bank will cash all of them. That the only way a bank, and most people don't know this, Scott, the only way a bank can actually take a house back, if they see a change in title, they're calling the note due, so they have to actually take it through foreclosure. So no bank in its right mind is going to take a house completely through foreclosure when you're making the payments on time. Mm-hmm. And I've never actually even seen it happen. And I've been doing this for 30 years. But everyone always said, what about the due on sale clause? And I totally get, I'm not making fun of you, whoever said that, but that's like the number one thing that you hear from people. It's like, it's real, it's there, but I've never seen a bank do it because no bank is going to call a note and foreclose when you're making payments, ever.
Yeah. Miami doesn't foreclose on a subject to deal. That's a city. A city's not going to do a subject to deal. It's not going to enforce it. Look here, guys. One of the great things is you put it in a land trust. You deed it to an LLC, whatever it does. As long as the payments start getting made, that's all they care about. What happens is when the payments aren't being made. And this is what happens when they call a due and sale clause. It's because an investor took it over, put it in a trust, put it in an LLC, and then didn't make the payments.
Exactly. Now, if you don't make the payments and you change the title, yeah, someone's going to come after you. But if you took the house and put a new person in there and took their money and don't make payments, shame on you.
Yeah, and they will enforce. They will enforce a due on sale clause, and I think. But here's the thing. And people get all bent out of shape of this, but you don't realize the actuality of a due on sale clause being called due is so minuscule out there. Only if you do something wrong or don't follow through with payments. As Dawn just said, people, as long as the banks keep getting checks, and the fact, here's the thing too, if they accept your payments, if they've accepted your payments once at least, and you keep paying, and then they call the due on sale clause, they can't do that because they have accepted the payment. There's court documents, there's court cases that they will side with you because the bank accepted the payment. And the fact that they accepted a payment from a different party shows the fact that they accepted the terms of that. So there's a court case to kick that out. So that's the only way, is if you stop making payments totally, that they start researching, see what's going on.
Yep.
That's
why I always tell people, like, hey, listen, once you have a homeowner subject to deed you a house, you make 12 payments, then you just call the bank and say, I want to refinance. Like, refinance, you're not the owner. I'm sorry, you've taken 12 payments from me for a full year. I'd like to refinance this house because you are the owner of record now because the bank has been taking your payments. So guys, I really want you to get involved in the flipping houses. So just go to 123foreclosures.com/join. And it's $9.97 or 2 payments of $5.99. If you have any trouble whatsoever, you can text 303-907-5930. And Scott, I want to thank you for having me on. I don't want to cut into the next person's time. And it's 4:25. So I just want to thank all you guys for being on here today. Wholesaling is an amazing way to make money. My husband talked about subject twos yesterday. It's an amazing way to make money. Notes are an amazing way to make money. And you guys can do every single solitary one of those things. There's no person on here that cannot do it. So if you guys have fun with me today, give me some B's and say goodbye. We love you, Dwan. You're wonderful. You're amazing. You're Dwantastic. You can just think of all kinds of things.
Here's the question. Here's an answer for somebody who's asking a question. David, the borrower's not making their mortgage payments. It's going to go to foreclosure if they don't have the money. This is why they're glad to do somebody else take it over and go from there. So the fact that they haven't made a mortgage payment it's not going to affect their credit any worse because they haven't made a mortgage payment in 3, 6, or 9 months. So don't worry about that. As long as you're doing the right thing, you'll be fine. And the answer to your skeleton LLC, as Dwan said, is that you create an LLC. You don't need to go through and pay the extra money.
No, you don't need all that.
You just need to basically create an LLC, put an LLC. You do need to have the tax ID number, which is easy to get. You do need to have the articles so that the title company will verify that. But that's just a skeleton. You're basically setting up a new LLC, putting it in there, and then selling that LLC off.
Yeah.
It's not,
and Scott, in Colorado, that only costs $60.
Yeah, I know.
You get a page that says, the Twyford LLC, and then it has a tax ID number. You get 5 or 6 pages of articles, and that's all you need. And you sell that, it costs $60. So when people are like, oh, LLCs cost $1,200. Well, if you're getting the book and the stands and that and all that stuff for your company, yeah, but we're just creating them so we can flip. And plus, you don't need to have your name on every single thing that you do because, you don't need everybody knowing what you own or what you do. And you don't need it all out there in the public, how much money that you're making. And I want to thank you for putting on this No Camp. It has been so much fun. I just so appreciate you letting me. And again, I want to also thank Michael from Georgia. I got another message over here. Michael from Georgia, you're part of my Dirty Dozen. So get over there and get the 123foreclosures.com/join. Be part of my Dirty Dozen, and I will work with you till you close your first deal. And all these questions, thanks, Ivan. He says he loves my pink hair. All these questions that y'all are asking, every single question is covered in my program. Every single question is covered in my boot camp. There's no question left unturned because the things you're asking about are the things that Scott and I hear 100% of the time, all the time with all the people that we work with. So I cover doing sales. I cover the LLCs. I give you my land trust. I cover the scripts. I cover what to do in every single situation because there's nothing that I have come across in 2,000 deals that I don't tell you all the things that can come up. I tell you all those things so that none of them will happen to you because everything I've learned that I say, hey, don't do this. The way I learned it is because I did it.
You do this in every state. Every state. Man.
I even have a list of all the states. So you know that if you're in a mortgage state or if you're even in a deed of trust, half you don't even know which kind of state you're in. Are you in a mortgage state or deed of trust state? Most of you don't even know what state you're in. So I cover all that because I assume that you're a newbie, and I love newbies because I like to take you by the hand and walk you down the wholesale path. to help you guys create a ton of cash. So just jump over there and make sure you do that. And thank you guys for saying excellent job. And thank you for all the great questions. And Scott, thank you. You are the best.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate it, Dwan. We'll talk to you later. Give Bill my best as well. All right. Enjoy the rest of your
Bye,
day.
everybody.
All right. Great stuff there. All right.